Welcome to New Directions. I'm Guma, and it's a new decade, and this is a new show. It's brought to you by the Peace and Justice Coalition. And tonight, we're here live and direct in the Adelphia studios, and we're with several guests and a telephone that's waiting to be used. But first, with the news, here is Alisa Farina. Alisa?
Good evening. Tonight, some reports from the front. The front of what? America's latest war, the war on drugs. You know it's a war when warships are cruising off the coast of Colombia. The aircraft carrier John F. Kennedy leads the way in that anti-drug offensive. Meanwhile, in Colombia, leading drug traffickers, known as the extraditables, are ready to surrender. The extraditables want amnesty. So far, Colombia says, no way. Drug crusades, largely financed and directed by the U.S., are also underway in Peru and Bolivia. In the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. police, perhaps influenced by drug czar William Bennett's threat to bring the military into the capital district to clean it up, have pulled off a high-level sting operation. Mayor Marion Barry was caught using cocaine in a hotel room. Is it good police work, or is it a political hatchet job? Many blacks sympathize with the drug-dependent mayor. Even his opponents think he could still be reelected. Jesse Jackson is waiting in the wings.
On the national scene, on September 5th, the Bennett Plan was announced by Bush. The rules have changed, the president said. In the future, military troops and money will be there for intervention in drug zones. The targets so far have been cocaine processing plants, a few cartels, and a head of state with a PR problem. U.S. forces and advisors are actively involved in conflicts in Peru, Colombia, Bolivia, Panama, and other Latin American countries. The Bennett Plan, according to William Bennett himself, is all-out war. Airborne attacks are now permissible, so is assassination of foreign leaders. They must, of course, first be classified as drug traffickers. Apparently, if they can't qualify at first, we'll help them get started as dealers, and then perhaps turn on them later. At first, the Bennett Plan was ridiculed. We can't send in helicopters with a big USA painted on it, said one State Department official. The drug czar responded, then came the hammer and sickle on them. Bennett is a known tobacco addict who once had a date with Janis Joplin that didn't work out.
And for all you students, according to ABC, 87% of all Americans think that school officials should be able to search lockers randomly for drugs, as if security wasn't enough of a problem. Bottom line, 9 out of 10 people think we have a crisis on our hands. They believe it's a war. No surprise, of course. The U.S. media has been telling them that for years. Why? Maybe war is the health of the networks. And don't forget their promotion departments. On September 6th, one day after the Bennett Plan went public, CBS launched a week of special reports on the drug story. A full-page ad said, "One nation under siege." The text said, "America is at war, and the enemy has already taken the streets." ABC also had a series, "Drugs, a Plague Upon the Land." For many people, it was enough to make them want to send in the Marines. And so for Christmas, George Bush gave America something it seems to have wanted, a drug-inspired invasion. Who says there is no Santa Claus?
Milton Friedman and William F. Buckley, among others, think we should make some legal. And not all radicals think we should give up. Radical author Michael Parenti says that only the suppliers and the number of consumers would change. After Prohibition, he reminds us, people drank more than ever. Parenti would like to smash the international drug cartels and the drug trade, but he doubts that George Bush is serious. Do you think George Bush is serious? Do you take him seriously? Or do you take drugs? Do you sell drugs? Did you vote for George Bush and take drugs? If you have an opinion about George Bush and drugs, his CIA ties perhaps to international drug operations, or anything else, please call us at 658-5165. Is George Bush doing a good job of dealing with drugs, or is he really just using it as a mechanism of social control?